In the heart of the Congo River, locals whisper of a shadow in the water, a catfish so massive it swallows men whole. They call it Mbenga. Some say it has ruled these waters for decades, dragging fishermen from their boats, vanishing before help arrives. Official records dismiss it as legend, yet the number of missing people near the old wooden bridge keeps growing. In July 1998, 7 men vowed to end its reign. The first encounter came at dusk. Old Mbemba, a weathered fisherman, told of a boy fishing by the bridge. Without warning, the water erupted. A pale, whiskered snout rose, jaws wide, eyes glowing yellow in the dim light. The boy screamed once, then vanished beneath the churning river. No bubbles, no trace. Only a slowly spreading red stain marked the spot. Mbemba swore the river itself held its breath. Shaken but furious, the men decided to hunt the monster. Their leader, Angala, a skilled guide, claimed to have seen Mbenga's true size, longer than 2 canoes tied together. Alongside him were local fishermen and a visiting angler from France. They'd packed heavy chains, steel hooks, and bait no ordinary fish could resist. Day 1 began with heat and tension. They baited a massive hook with a dead crocodile, tying it to a chain thick as a man's wrist. That night, water sloshed against the boats. Then a pull so violent the wooden hulls creaked. When they drew in the line, the hook was twisted, the crocodile's carcass torn in half. The men exchanged grim looks. The monster had tested them and found their strength lacking. Day 2 brought murky waters, clouds of silt swirling as if the riverbed itself moved. Fisherman Quito claimed he saw the tip of a massive dorsal fin slicing through the moonlit surface. "He's watching," Angela muttered, scanning the shadows. That night, the camp heard slow, heavy breaths coming from the dark water. They lit torches, but the glow only reached a few feet before fading into black. On day 3, the monster ignored their bait. The men wondered if it had lost interest, until they found deep gouges in the wooden posts of their dock. Something had scraped against them in the night. "It's hunting us now," Quito whispered. They doubled the watch, but no one slept. The river seemed alive, rippling without wind, as if something enormous circled just out of sight. The 4th night broke their resolve. Near midnight, the line went taut with a metallic groan. Both boats strained against the pull, water surging between them. Men shouted, muscles burning as they hauled. Then snap. The chain recoiled like a whip, throwing 2 fishermen overboard. They were pulled out moments later, coughing and shaking. The beast had escaped again, leaving nothing but boiling water in its wake. By the 5th day, fear had settled in. Some spoke of quitting, but Angela reminded them of the boy lost at the bridge. "We see this through," he said coldly. That night, the yellow eyes returned, floating just above the waterline. They did not blink, did not move closer. The men sat frozen, the fire crackling behind them. Then, slowly, the eyes sank beneath the surface, vanishing into the deep. The 6th day passed in silence. No splashes, no bait taken. Yet at dusk, the river began to churn in lazy circles around their anchored boats. The men gripped their spears, every ripple a threat. Then, as darkness fell, something massive brushed the underside of the hull. The wood groaned. Quito swore he felt its whiskers drag across his leg through the planks. Sleep became impossible. On the 7th and final night, they prepared their deadliest trap, a reinforced steel cage baited with hippo meat. The chain was anchored to two boats on opposite banks. Hours passed under the humid sky until the water exploded in a violent surge. Both boats lurched forward, waves slapping against the sides. Men screamed commands as the chain whined under the pull of something impossibly strong. The struggle raged for over an hour. Water frothed white, lanterns swung wildly, and the cage rattled with each violent twist. Then came a deep, guttural sound, not quite a roar, not quite a groan. Blood bubbled to the surface. The beast thrashed one last time before going still. The men, panting and soaked, began the slow, grueling task of hauling the cage toward the shore. When they finally dragged it onto the muddy bank, they froze in awe. Benga lay there, a catfish over 16 feet long, weighing more than 800 pounds. Its skin was mottled black and gray, whiskers thick as ropes. Its eyes, dim now, still seemed to watch. The air stank of river mud and blood. No one spoke for a long time. The hunt was over, but the nightmare lay at their feet. Dissection confirmed the legend's horror. Inside its massive stomach were bones, scraps of fabric, and a bent metal belt buckle. These were not the remains of animals. The men exchanged uneasy glances, realizing the truth. This was not just a predator. It had been feeding on humans for years, perhaps decades. The river had kept its secret, and they had finally uncovered it. The village celebrated, yet unease lingered. Angela stood on the riverbank that night, staring into the black water. The Congo was vast, its depths unknowable. Manga was dead, but how many more swam unseen beneath the surface? Somewhere out there the water rippled without wind, and something large moved in the dark. "We caught one," Angela whispered. "Only one. Today the old bridge still stands. Tourists cross it, unaware of the blood once spilled below. Locals fish in peace, but some refuse to go near the deep channel at night. They say the river remembers. On windless evenings, if you listen closely, you might hear the slow, heavy breath of something waiting below, and see two faint yellow lights watching from the darkness." Weeks later, strange things began happening upriver. Nets were torn apart overnight. Boats found adrift with deep scratches along their sides. Fishermen swore they felt something vast moving under them, brushing the hull with deliberate slowness. The elders warned the hunters not to boast of their kill. "The river has many mouths," they said, "and some grow hungry when one is silenced." One rainy night, Angela awoke to the sound of water lapping against his hut. He stepped outside and saw the river's surface alive with ripples. In the distance, a massive shadow slid beneath the current, vanishing without a sound. For a moment he thought he saw those same yellow eyes, faint but watching. His heart pounded as he realized maybe they hadn't ended the legend at all, only awakened it. The hunt from Benga became a story told in whispers, half warning, half challenge. Some young men dreamed of proving themselves by finding another. Others refused to fish the deeper channels ever again. And so the Congo kept its secret, a predator that might still roam beneath its dark waters. Those who survived the hunt knew one thing for certain: the river chooses who returns and who disappears forever. Years later, a diver exploring a sunken ferry near the old bridge surfaced pale and trembling. He claimed something huge circled him in the dark, brushing his tank with a force that nearly spun him around. Through the murk he saw a flash of mottled gray skin and felt the water pull as if drawn by a massive inhale. He never returned to the Congo. Locals say the river had simply taken back what was hers.